Hi folks, welcome back to the shop. Today I just want to speak about the best utility knife. This one is the standard utility knife that you might be familiar with, very common. I had these for years and I'm sure got the ones that I had for free, and they were kind of beat up. This one is a Stanley 99E. I happened to see it in a hardware store in the last couple years. It was a couple bucks, so I went ahead and picked it up, as cheap as it was. You can see it's made in the USA. Now, one of the drawbacks of these knives that I've experienced over the years is it's got a slick surface. Your hand can tend to slide on it when you're using it. When the blade's extended, this is a spring-loaded switch on it that if you're really getting a strong grip on this knife, sometimes you can find yourself bumping this switch unintentionally and the blade just sort of slipping down on you, right? And you're pushing it back out. And then you go back to work on what you're cutting, especially if you're fighting something and trying to cut it. You'll find you're somehow, when you're putting some real muscle into this, that your blade's folding in on you. This guy, the way it works, if you're not familiar, is that if you want to change out the blade, you have to back this screw out. It's one of the drawbacks of this knife. Pop it open, the half cap. As you can see inside, we have the cutting blade up front. In the back, you have room for storage of additional blades. The front blade lifts right up. You can lift this guy out, and if you want to put a new fresh sharp edge out, you can just flip the blade around, pop it back in. We just set it right back down to the track here. And we can pop the cover back on. Just like that. The front nose goes in first, and then you can clip it down. Blade works, put your screw back in. So that's the old standard utility knife that I think everyone's familiar with. From there, I bought a 2-pack of Husky blades, and I primarily bought it for this smaller, more compact utility knife. This guy I thought was just super handy in terms of its size and form factor. It's just something that you can, very thin, it can fit in a bag or fit in your pocket. You can sort of carry it with you all the time. It's very light. Excellent blade. If you want to remove the blade, you flip the switch down, this comes out just like on the Stanley. You can simply flip the blade around for a sharp edge. I don't think there's any additional storage on this blade, but definitely quick storage or blade change. Has a lock in the back. You push the lock down, blade folds in. You'll notice it's sort of flat on both sides, right? I can set this thing down flat on both sides. Very easy to store. And then of course the larger blade, which I think is common, and you can see this in all sorts of brands out there. I've seen it in Stanley and Craftsman, every style you can imagine. Same thing, you can flip this switch, and then you flip this down and you can take the blade out, remove the blade, lock it back in when you're done. It's got a lock here in the back. It's got a location here on the back for a lanyard. And this works great. You can really get a hold of this knife and do some serious cutting with it. So definitely an improvement on the old standard utility knife. Now, aside from that, I moved on to what I think is getting into some of the best knives out there now, more of a modern knife. And this is the Milwaukee Fastback compact blade. And the big advantage to this guy is that you can flip the blade out very quickly. Flip the blade out, retrieve it, put it away very quickly. So there's no way you're going to get access to the standard blade we saw on that Stanley that quick. But compact, I wanted it compact so it would fit in a particular pocket I had set up for it. So that's why I went with this guy. And then more recently, decided to get another Milwaukee Fastback. They have a few, and they have a standard one I know that most people might be aware of, but this one is a newer Fastback, and I just really was interested in the design of this knife, and I do think it is the best utility knife. Same as the compact blade, it's got the it's got the fast blade deployment and retrieval. Put it away quickly. You can remove the blade. The compact works the exact same way. You can push in right here, just take the blade out, reinsert, flip it around if you're trying to get, a sharp edge. And you can just pop this guy right in and he'll click into place. Here you have a wire stripper on the blade. On the end here, there is a cap lifter. As you can see, it has a loop here in the rear for a lanyard if you wanted to put a lanyard on it. Nice wire clip. I think it's really an improvement. These wire clips in general, they put the same thing on the Milwaukee tape measures. But this guy is just a really nice blade. What I really am interested in though is the screwdriver in the back. They call this the Milwaukee 6-in-1, and that's why I say it's got 6 different capabilities. It has a locking point right here at about 90 degrees, so you can really get some leverage on it if you're trying to turn a screw or tighten a screw up. And if you extend it all the way out, it has a liner lock in it. That's what I was really kind of impressed by, the build quality. Liner lock just like a folding pocket knife. And then of course it has a standard Phillips number 2 bit on it. You can just flip this around quickly to go to a 1/4" flat bit. And then if you pop it off, just pop out take the tip out, you have a nut runner on the end, 5/16 nut runner. So, and you know, it's just a very versatile tool to have, especially if you're walking in to a situation where you're just going to have one tool on you. You're not sure what we're getting into. Maybe first doing an assessment, you really can't beat coming in with this tool. Now, like I said earlier, with the liner lock, you just push this liner locked over to the side, fold the blade down, and you've put it away. Now, one feature it does have extra blade storage. It's one feature that's not really apparent at first, but if you open the knife up, there is a slot here on the edge, and there's a lock right here, if I can show that allows you to slip in an extra blade. And I'll demonstrate. I'll get this, grab the Stanley blade down here, and you just take the blade and insert it between the metal liner, and the scales, the plastic scales. So if I just insert this blade right here, slip it between the scale and the liner, and keep it good and flat, good and square, just kind of slip it in. It'll click right into place. You see that? Or hear that right there? It clicked into place. This little tab is now against the plastic, and it's got it held in there. So now you've got an additional blade or knife blade with you. Now it doesn't come with that. That extra blade, you'll have to, you know, buy some more additional blades. I found that it doesn't like to work with just any blade. I had to use either the Milwaukee blade or the Stanley blade in order to get it to go into this liner. It's particular. In other words, this lock won't lock if you just use any old blade. Some will work, some won't, but I definitely know the Milwaukee brand works, and I know the Stanley brand works for sure. But that's the Milwaukee 6-in-1. I think it's, you know, definitely the best utility knife. You can't really go wrong with either getting this one or the compact knife. Just a great tool. And you know, it's along the lines of, if you're going to walk in and you only have one tool with you, you know, I would want either this Milwaukee Fastback or the Klein Tools 11-in-1 screwdriver. You come in with one of these tools, you're going to be able to get something done. You know, if you come in with this guy, you'll come in with a folding knife or a pocket knife. If you don't have a knife, you come in with this guy, you can get some things done and not have to run back to the truck or run and get tools. So it's going to definitely save you time. But with that said, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.